Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Gaming with Infamous. I'm Infamous OG 1973 and today we are going to be going over we're going to go over gaming, basically is what it is. Now this is going to be my last gaming video for a while. For this year, I may start up a new season. I may not, but right now I wanted to kind of go over and review some of the stuff that was covered earlier and kind of get some information out on some of the stuff I reviewed after we have been doing a lot of these conversations about the tech side of gaming and things of that nature, because that's the one thing I do have a problem with when it comes to like the media and stuff. If you go on and you watch a lot of this news and the broadcasts and everything like that, you'll notice that they'll come out with some kind of news, but they'll never do a follow-up. You know what I mean? Like what happened to the story after they did it. You know, so. That's one thing that I wanted to do in all of my streams. Like if I bring up a topic or a subject, I'd like to go and revisit it after a certain amount of time and then see what other new stuff that I find out and I come up with when I do that. So after I did some of these topics, there were parts that stuck out to me. I still haven't been able to figure out the tournaments that I mentioned before, who won them. That's something that I've noticed they haven't mentioned much on with it when it comes to that, but there were a lot of good things that we were discussing that I wanted to go back and review when it comes to game clouding specifically. Also, there's things that we were discussing when it comes to artificial intelligence. That's something else that I thought would be interesting to revisit and to go through. And you know, there's a couple of other things that we could have gone through and discussed too, but I wanted to bring some things that stood out to me out into this episode and kind of finish it off. Now, before I do that, I do want to say that eventually I would like to get an interview for Gaming with Infamous from Nostalgia Gaming. He's starting his season 5 for Nostalgia Gaming Retro. That's Rapid Glitch. And I told him that I'd like to have him come on and maybe do an interview and everything, kind of give a plug out for his channel so that we can find out what's going on with him for season 5. He said he can do it, but like scheduling is a big issue. I told him that maybe we could do a pre-recording and I could put it out that way. That way we can at least get a little bit of advertisement out for him, because he's a good gamer, you know, and everybody that knows him likes him. So eventually that's one thing that I will have available coming out. So with that, let me go ahead and start the show. Now first, what I want to go back and discuss again is NVIDIA GeForce Now, and kind of cover that and let everybody know a little bit more about that. Now, most people do know about NVIDIA, and NVIDIA GeForce is the GPU that they have out for most modern computers. Now, GeForce Now, NVIDIA GeForce Now is a cloud gaming server that allows users to play games on various devices, you know, without needing high-end hardware. So like with me, you know, I've had to go and I've had to build my computer so that I could have the the high-end hardware to go with it, so that I could play games that are way faster than what an ordinary computer could handle. So the cloud gaming services are supposed to allow you to be able to do that without having to have a high-end gaming. And my computer, believe it or not, isn't really that powerful. It's stronger than the average one that you get out of the store, don't get me wrong, but it's not really all that powerful. You can actually get stronger computers that can do more. But basically that's what NVIDIA GeForce Now is good. It is supposed to be good for. It leverages NVIDIA's powerful servers to stream games directly to your device, and that's basically what it is. And it's supposed to be high performance. It's supposed to give you a high performance gaming experience. I've never gotten into going in and paying for services though, so like subscribing on a monthly basis and paying a certain amount of money just is something I really don't agree with. I don't like that idea. So that's one issue that I've had when it comes to doing stuff of this nature. They've also mentioned, they can keep maintenance in the background for the games rather than sending, updates whenever you come online like they do with other services. But I don't know. I don't know if that is actually a better way of doing stuff when it comes to money, money-wise. That's the reasoning behind them saying that it's better to get cloud gaming rather than to do it where you can get online and just sign in and stuff of that nature, because they don't have to do the updates and everything. I don't know. It's something I've actually wanted to have a conversation with more people than just me and Mark about that, to see what everybody else's take is on that. So if anybody's ever interested in maybe coming on to the show and having conversations concerning that topic, I would love to do that. Now, as well as that, GeForce Now also is supposed to enable users to stream games from the cloud, which eliminates the need for expensive gaming PCs, what I mean, like I just discovered. But it processes the information, and it's handled by NVIDIA servers, and the output is then streamed to your device, and then back and forth, vice versa. So you've got all of the information that's being processed back and forth from these servers. So NVIDIA has servers set up all over the place where it processes it for you. Now, the wide dot also is available on not just on PCs, but it's available on PCs, Macs, Android devices. They also have it for iOS devices, which is browsers. And NVIDIA Shield TV, it supports low-end hardware as long as there's a stable internet connection. So you have to have a good internet connection to do this. And one thing that I do have to tell you, and a lot of people overlook this, they go out and they build these high-end computers, and they think that these high-end computers are going to help them out so much, but then they finally do it and they get on the internet and they find out that their internet provider sucks. And they can't provide them with what they need for the things that they're wanting to do. So if you do this, take that into consideration too. You know what I mean? You're going to have to also check out your internet provider and find out if you have a good provider that's able to handle the things that you're wanting to do, especially when it comes to gaming. That's a really big deal. Now, instead of offering its own game library, GeForce now integrates with your existing game stores, and that's game stores like Steam, Epic Game Stores, and a galaxy of games, and I think they also have Ubisoft Connect, where you can play games you already own on your platforms. Now, when it comes to that too, I wonder if they possibly do that with like games that are installed on your computer. I don't know for sure if they do, but it would be interesting to find out. I do like the idea though that they interact with game platforms like Steam and Epic Games, because I do have games on there, and Galaxy GOG. I've never used Ubisoft Connect, so I don't know exactly how all of that works. I've even heard that like there's a way of streaming straight off of my computer without having to use OBS or anything of that nature, and I still don't know for sure what that entails, so for me, I'm a pioneer. I consider myself a pioneer in this great game of life where everything's cool, and I'm learning how to be a gamer. But all of this stuff is basically new for me when it comes to doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm not going to say for sure if they or like I don't know anything when it comes to Ubisoft and using the equipment that's on my computer and stuff. I know what I'm good with. I'm good with OBS, and now apparently I'm using Beam, and I'm using Rumble Studio to run my streams on multiple platforms without using my OBS or my computer. So it's a new experience for me. That's kind of how I progress in things. But I do play video games, and I do make live streams. So we'll find out how well this stuff works out, because I'm not buying it, dude. That's just how I roll, man. I'm not buying it. I have to be convinced that what people are saying is the real deal, you know what I mean? So that's basically how I usually do it. If you can talk until you're blue in the face, but until I get on there and I try it out for myself, I don't buy into it, and that's just the way I've been. Now with performance, NVIDIA servers are supposed to provide access to RTX graphics. It includes features like ray tracing and DLSS for supported games. It's supposed to give you high quality visuals and like a smooth gameplay, but I'm not really that impressed with like ray tracing. My son, he's really big on it, and I can see how it is cool, because I've done a bit of ray tracing when it comes to computer graphics on Blender, and also on Inkscape and things of that nature, working with the lighting and everything. So I do understand in that aspect where it all comes in and stuff, but I'm really an RGB kind of guy, you know what I mean? I really enjoy skylights that are rendered in RGB, and like Valheim has some of the beautifulest skylines, you know what I mean? And I love how they blend the colors in to make it look realistic, but it's still RGB. Yeah, I just enjoy that stuff so much more. I'm not into the whole cartoony thing, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I really do like how they do the RGB in situations like that. So that's just my take on it.